Welcome to a Whole Step Ahead podcast where we look at the whole picture in childcare while keeping you a step ahead. My name is Alicia.
And I'm Monique.
And today our podcast episode is about schedules and routines for our littles.
Yes. First, let's start off on what's the difference. So, schedule is basically planned activities with time. So, something's like, you start at 8:30, then lunch is at 11, then nap is at 12. Those are activities with specific times to them that throughout the day you want to stay on those time schedules.
Right.
A routine is basically activities that are in a pattern or in the same order. So during, circle time might be at 9:00 circle time, but during circle time you have activities that you do in the same order. So you might do sing a song first, then you will do read a book, and then you'll tell a story, and they're in the order, but there's no specific time on them. So that's a routine, is right. No time but the same order. And then a schedule is specific times of the day.
Right. So basically a routine can be part of a schedule, but a schedule can't be part of a routine.
There you go.
Big fight. So like, I'm glad you said like circle time and stuff like that, because that's a good way of looking at it. Because like, I never really even considered the difference between the two. Like I always I always make a class schedule, and I always be like, I'm going to follow the routine, but I never like thought of them separately. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that makes so much sense.
So keeping a good schedule, and just a disclaimer, everything we talk about in the podcast is for home and daycares. Mm-hmm. So even having a good schedule at home and routine is helpful, especially if you, as a parent, you should already know what your daycare routine is, because even on the weekends you can try to keep that same schedule. Not necessarily like doing circle time, but knowing, okay, they eat breakfast at this time, they eat lunch at this time, there's a nap at this time, they get up at this time, snacks at this time. You keep that schedule. Now your routine during the day, of course, is different, but keeping the schedule with the timing helps make it consistent all around home and daycare. And it helps you, the child, be easier, because they of course don't know the exact time, but they can feel around the time of day what it is. And they know, okay, it's feeling like it's lunchtime. And at home, you might be like, why are they so whiny every day around 11:00? Well, because during school, they eat lunch. So it just helps you as a parent and as providers to be consistent with your schedule and routine.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes so much sense, especially like that, what you said, like lunchtime and nap time and stuff like that. Like when they're at home, it's like, I want to take a nap. And they'd be like, why you acting like this?
You don't know that they take a nap at 12:00.
Right, every single day. It does not change. But yeah, another thing that you said, like routines, like if you're doing circle time, my kids know every single thing that comes in circle time. Mm-hmm. Like they sit down for circle time, they know first song is good morning song, second song is whatever. Yeah. Then we go individually one by one to ask them how they are, the how are you song, and then we might do the letters and the numbers. But they know if I forget something, they know. Wait a minute, we didn't do days of the week, or wait a minute, we didn't do this little light of mine. That's their favorite song. They love it. But yeah, so like that's a routine. That is something that that really helps them to make sure they understand. Okay, I know what we're supposed to do every single day. Make sure they stay on top of it every single day.
Every day. Because routines. Even as adults, we have a routine. I'm very much of a routine person, and a schedule person. My friend,
I'm the opposite.
No, my friend, my roommate, when I was in college, she used to always say, I went to community college. We stayed in an apartment together. I don't want people to be like, you didn't go to college, you didn't stay in no dorm. No, I was in an apartment. I went to community college, and I had a roommate who stayed with me, my best friend. She used to say all the time, like, if somebody wanted to kidnap you, all they had to do was watch you for a week, and they would know what time you got in your car, what time did you pull up to your job, what time did you came home, because I was so much like get up at 6, be ready by 6:30, be out the door by 6:50, warm up my car for 5 minutes. So she's like, at that point they be like, grab you, because every day you down them stairs at 6:50,
right?
You know, so I'm still like that. Like I have to get up, I have to do this, I have to do that. So I'm very routine.
You be on time for stuff? I'm sorry.
I don't like being late. So I'm either on time or I'm really early. Like if it's an event, you can catch me in the parking lot waiting. Maybe like 34. Like if I'm literally looking like, oh, okay, I'm going to go there 30 minutes early. I'm going to sit in the parking lot. I'm going to get out like 5 minutes before. I'm that person.
The doors open
if
at
I'm,
5.
For real, if I'm running late, I'm coming like, oh my God. I gotta like get myself together because I don't. And if you're late, I don't like late people. I don't. It's so like, oh my God.
Well, I'm very much spontaneous, is like what I like to call it. However, in childcare, I try to be on a schedule. Now, okay, I try to be on routine. I'm gonna be honest. In my childcare center, we have a schedule. We follow it most of the time. But I am very, very much throw a wrench in the whole, whole
flexibility.
Thing. Right. That's it. Adaptability, flexibility. My kids are very adaptable and flexible because they know their childcare provider. They know that I will be like, let's go outside. And they'll be like, wait, it's 2 o'clock.
It's not time.
Okay. Whatever. But I try not to do that too much because kids need that structure. Mm-hmm. They do need that time where they're like, okay, I know what's coming next, so that can prevent their like social anxiety or, you know, just anxiety in general. Like, I don't know what's happening. Yesterday we ate at 4, snack at 4. Are we gonna eat today? They don't need to know that. You know, they don't need to feel those feelings. So I try to make sure we stay on top of things. They know so they know what's coming next.
And that's all. I mean, your schedule normally is important because those are the important things where, like, you know, you're eating at a certain time, you're doing certain things at a certain time, but your routine can be flexible because today I had a whole activity with my kids. I had all boys today. My little diva didn't come today. So we had a whole activity. I have these little fruits with different colors. So it's like purple grapes, you know, yellow banana. So I gave all the boys each color, different color fruit. And the goal was to say, so-and-so, hand me this color. And the person was going to hand me the color just so they didn't know their colors. So there's different fruits. And I just so happened to give everybody a fruit that was circular, that looked like a ball. So in my head, I'm like, you know, we're on our routine. We have to do our color lessons. Next is this and that. And they decided, let's throw the fruit around.
Balls. What do you mean? What fruit?
And roll around on the
ball.
floor.
Tomato.
I mean, I'm like tasting yellow lemon. Blah, blah. And I'm like, and my routine schedule person is just like, oh my God. But because they're kids, I'm like, all right, let's, you know, I had to revamp my activity, and it took longer than normal. So I have to understand, I have to be flexible. So I decided like, okay, y'all go at the end of the hall and here's the bucket and you guys throw the ball. So then it went from me just telling them to hand me the ball to throw in the bucket. And because that was so much fun, that lasted either like a little bit, 10 minutes extra. So that took out the outside time. So, you know, the whole day I'm just like, oh, we're off schedule. Yeah. We're off schedule. But, you know, I've learned through my years, like, it's okay.
Yeah. That's that flexibility, adaptability. Because you can make it. You made an activity out of what happened with them spontaneously. Yes. And as long as you kept that within the routine or within the schedule,
we was time frame. We did have lunch,
but you made it work.
A little late, but
girl, get over it.
I'm just like that, but you know, you have to be flexible because kids are kids.
Yes.
But the more you can stay on schedule and routine, the benefits you get from it.
Definitely. Similar, like we said before, the anxiety, not having anxiety, not knowing what's next, Sometimes your kids can develop that type of anxiousness if they don't know what is happening. Like if they just in a space and they just don't know what's going on around them, what's coming next, they don't have that. Another thing that is beneficial is that it can literally help develop secure relationships between parents, between their caregivers or other adults, and even their peers in their classroom and stuff. Because they know that they can trust me to do what I'm supposed to do. Right. And that develops their trust. They can trust their parent, they can trust their aunt, their cousin to do what is supposed to be done. And that building that trust is very important in these young relationships, because that's good for their social emotional health, and that's good for their confidence, self-esteem, all those things we mentioned before in our other episodes that you can go back and watch. Those things that they need, and that those formative years, developing their personalities and who they're becoming, that stuff starts very early in infancy. Even with infants, speaking of infants, a schedule. When your baby come home from being birthed from the hospital or the water birth or wherever, your baby come out the womb, that schedule is essential to their life.
Their bonding.
Yeah, bonding with their parent emotionally, eating, sleeping, getting the right amount of sleep.
And let me throw this in. Infants, newborns can be on a schedule. I know we're all about feed on demand, but my sister just had her baby, and she literally called me like 2-3 days after she had the baby, and she's like, "You'll be so proud of me. I put Micaiah on a schedule." And I'm like, "How did you do it?" And she explained I explained before how she could do it, and she did what I told her to do. So now Micaiah, even as an infant, knows in 3 hours I'm going to get fed. I don't need to even cry, because my sister now knows in 3 hours I'm going to feed her. That's a schedule. Yeah. That's a routine. Yeah. And then she even did she's like, when we did a nighttime routine, so at 7:00, we do transition to this, and I turn this off, and and she slept for 5 hours. I'm like, because she knows she's going to get taken care of. That's security. And so infants, yes, we feed on demand, but you can get that feed on demand on a schedule and a routine.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Like, I have a friend, just had a baby, and he's a month old now, and she was struggling in the beginning, because it was like, I'm not getting enough rest, I'm not getting enough sleep. And one day I came to help her, and I was like, look, you have to get rest. There's no way that this is going to work.
Exactly.
You will not be as successful as you could be if you don't, make it your business, you and your partner, because moms, dads, moms and moms, dads and dads, whatever is going on. You definitely have to make sure that you and your partner are on the same page when it comes to making your schedule, your routine for your child, your newborn, your toddler, your preschooler, everything, any age group, whatever, even your teenager, For real. It really, really helps them understand, okay, I'll do it this time, you do it that time. It saves so much stress in your life. It saves so much unnecessary anxiety, anxiousness, stress, all these things that you could be going through, chaoticness. You don't know where anything is. You don't know what's going on. It really, and that helps build a healthy relationship, because your child can feel that stress. Babies can sense all of that. So
that frustration.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, when you started young,
you're right,
they're going to grow up and have time management skills, organization skills, which are leadership skills in a job. So
building adults, y'all.
Yes. So that, we repeat it all the time. The stuff you learn from infant, it progresses into your adulthood. So if you are with a child, parent, caregiver, and you're giving them this, how to be on a routine, how to be on a schedule, it will grow with them. So even when they're in, grade school, they know their homework routine. They might come home and have this whole routine out. and they might not even know why they're like this, but it's because you set that
Instilled that,
foundation
yeah.
when you're younger.
Definitely.
And even at home, I mean, you can make your own bedtime routine, you know. It could be story, and then, you know, okay, bedtime starts at 7:30. So 7:30 we transition to bedtime. That's your schedule. Your routine is bath, read a story, you know, go to sleep. So then the kids know, oh, after I eat, we're going to take a bath. After I do a bath, here's a story to read, mommy. And then after them, they go to sleep. They know what's next, and it's an easier transition.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you know, read a story first, then we're gonna take a bath, then you go to sleep, and then tomorrow is, oh, we're gonna watch TV, and then we're gonna do this, and then it's like, I don't know what's going on. Am I going to bed, or are we watching TV? What am I doing? But if they know before, oh, after we do this is this.
Yeah.
And then even because, you know, like I said, they might be young to know like at 7:30, but you can feel the time of the day. So even around 7:30, their bodies might be like, man, I'm getting tired.
Yeah, what's
and
happening?
So, and they'll recognize his feelings. So they'll even know like, man, let me, you know, self-help skills. Let me go run my bath water because I'm feeling tired. And I know when I feel this way, I take a bath, and then mommy reads a story or daddy reads a story, and then I go to bed. So
yeah, I completely agree. There was a kid in my class, his mom called me over the weekend, and you know, my business hours are my business hours. And so when I or she texted me, one or two, and I was just like, okay. But I was happy. I always respond. I'm just messing, y'all. I do respond most of the time. I ain't gonna say always, but I do respond most of the time to my parents. But she messaged me and was like, what music or what song do you play at nap time? Because my child keeps asking for me to play this song to go to bed, and I have no idea what he's saying. I have no idea what's going on. And I was like, oh, here's the playlist. It's because it's the same playlist every day. And he's like, I like going to bed to this. And nap time at school, he sleeps. That's my longest sleeper. First one to sleep, last one to get up. Maybe that is something that's helping him go to sleep and getting in that relaxed mode or whatever, and sleeping as long as he does and having a restful sleep.
What you be playing?
Instrumental lullabies on Amazon.
Okay. I play Vitamin String Quartet.
Oh.
It's the same thing. You watch Bremerton on Netflix?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. But yeah, we do instrumental lullabies. Sometimes we do jazz, instrumental jazz. So it's one of the two.
The Vitamin String Quartet is just a quartet that plays. It's instrumental, like they be playing popular songs, but instrumental.
Yeah.
All right.
I just wanted to know. I'm gonna have to listen to that because okay. Anyway, but yeah, so like that really helps him, and it helped her at home. It was just like, okay, great. I have this thing that I know that my child's gonna go to sleep
because he does
it every day. Same thing. And
that's a part of routine.
Right.
His routine is the music.
Yes.
To go to sleep.
Right.
So him doing it at home, he knows that's part of the routine.
That's what comes first.
To sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what comes first, and what comes after that. Another thing that routines and schedules do establish for children is like they understand their expectations. They know that when the timer goes out, I'm supposed to go to the bathroom. They know that when the music comes on, I go to sleep. They know that when I wake up, I eat snack. They know that after I eat snack, I'll go get ready to go outside. And they prepare themselves for that.
Yes.
And it goes back, it ties right into self-help skills, like you said before. Okay, if I know I cleaned up my snack, I'm going to the carpet because I'm not gonna go peel out my toys. That's not an expectation of me.
Yeah, I'm expected to
go sit on the carpet because we're gonna go outside. You know, and so that's important to have those things. It helps them build their confidence again, their self-assurance. They understand what they're supposed to be doing, what's happening next, where am I going, how am I going, and all of those things. Because honestly, if you ever gone to, I will not name these centers out, the names of these places. Alicia, do not say the names. If you go to some child care provider centers and you walk in the classroom and it is pure chaos, Or you go in someone's house and their children are
off the walls.
Off the walls. It's because they have no established routine. They have no structure. And you kind of just let your kids do. Now, granted, is it good to allow your children to be free, roam, freely express themselves, and have those things? My personal opinion, absolutely. I let my children do it all the time. That's how they learn. That's how they explore. They have to try things. They have to do things. But is it also beneficial for them to have that structure and routine? Absolutely. Yes. And one thing that I've noticed in my own children, I printed out, I actually put they're 6 and 8, so they're a little bit older. But I actually printed out a routine for them. And because we were having some issues at home, getting their stuff done, like homework and stuff.
Yeah.
And so homework, and then they're also part of like extracurricular activities. They need to practice taekwondo, they need to practice basketball, they need to practice baseball. You know, so I printed out a schedule and allotted them time for all those things. And they have improved in all of those things.
Really?
Because of them having
the structure.
That structure and that routine at the end of the day after they get out of school. So I definitely
and that's something to do, at home. And at centers, you're supposed to have your routine and your schedule printed out. And it's beneficial for just because anybody coming in the room, if somebody has to take over, they know, this is next, this is next, this is next. But at home, you can print it out. You probably won't necessarily have a schedule at home because, home is different.
Right.
But you'll have your routine. Right. And you don't even know. Sometimes we're in a routine we don't even know. If you ever found yourself driving to work and you're zoned out and then somehow you made it to work.
You don't remember how you got there?
Yeah. It's because you do the same thing every day. So your body knows that routine.
Right.
Your body knows turn here.
Yeah.
There's a stoplight here. Like there's literally, I've been like, how long I've been at this stoplight? Like
for real.
It's like you just click, but it's your routine. Mm-hmm. So you do a routine even at home.
Like sometimes when you're trying to go somewhere, but you end up going home.
You're used to that.
You're used to that
route. Yeah, that's a routine. So we have it, and it's just knowing it and getting your child to recognize the routine. Because even doing it and even saying them or how she has it printed out at her home helps them know and prepare instead of just not knowing anything. So like we have our nighttime routine. The kids come home from school, they do their chores, they do their homework, and then they get ready for bed. It's a simple routine. It's a simple thing, but it's a routine.
Yeah.
They know chores, homework, bed. Mm-hmm. Now we don't have a set time because they're older or whatever. But Tay, of course, he has his routine because he's younger. Mm-hmm. But even at my home daycare, the kids know. They know after breakfast they go sit at their desk. And it's funny because breakfast and lunch is at the, of course they sit at the table. Mm-hmm. So I do have some kids after breakfast go get their mats because for lunch, after they eat, they go get their mats. So they get that timing wrong, but they know the routine. After I'm eating, I get my mat or I go to the desk. Now, them recognizing the time difference, like in the morning you go to your desk, in the afternoon you get your mat. But it'd be so funny because I'd be like, so-and-so, this is not that time. Go to the desk. But it's just, in my head, I'm like, they know their routine.
Right.
It's a little off, but they know after this. So and I don't have to say anything. Like, they know, eat, desk. And then even with desk, they'll sit at their desk, they get their little toy. And then when I sit down on the floor, I don't even have to say, come to the carpet. They put their stuff up, they come to the carpet. Mm-hmm. And one of them will go get, the materials I need. They bring it to. So it's like they're so used to it because I do it every day. Now, some days I might be a little like, every once in a while. Yeah. Every once in a while. Spontaneous, let's just do something else. But most of the time it's like, no, we stick to it. I'm just like that personally. But it helps because I've had, I take videos and pictures and stuff. And I show the parents like, this is what your child can do because they're on this routine and they're even amazed that, and I, like Alicia I had a parent have to come to me and she's like, how do you get him to go to bed? Like, how does he take a nap? Because I have to, he cries and stuff like that. I'm like, girl, I do not have that because I just ain't got time for that. They go on their mat. They know after this is nap time. There's nothing else you can do.
Right.
You are laying on your mat.
Right.
I say, Alexa, play Vitamin String Quartet. They know that music starts. Did she go up?
No. I was like,
after the music starts, they know to get their mats, and this particular child will go in the bathroom, get his pull up, put his pull up on, and lay on his mat. So I had to tell the mom, like, you need a routine. You go in his room, give him his bath, go in his room, set the timer. Mommy's gonna sit with you for whatever minute of time. When that timer goes off, leave. He might for the first few days cry, put up a fit, but after a while he's gonna get that when that timer goes off, mommy goes and I need to go to bed. Right. So when you do set your routine or your schedule, repetition.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like with the parents, if you dropping your child off the child care facility or something, your child has a hard time with separation. You can establish a routine every day. Do the same thing. Kiss your forehead, kiss your shoulder, give you a high five, say I love you. Every day. Kiss your forehead, kiss your shoulder, say I love you, give you a high five. Every day you do. You say, if you do and say the same thing every single day, your child will understand, oh, it's time for me to, my mom to go, my mom's dropping me off, and I'm okay with this. Sometimes it's important for young children, toddlers, if the handoff is from arm to arms. So I have one child that now she's actually walking in, but before it was mom would give child to me and then I would put the child down. Simple.
But it's the routine.
It's the routine. That was all it was. You know, the child will even walk themselves up the steps to come in, but mom will pick them up, give me the child get
and because that's her routine, you establish a bond,
right?
Because she knows from mom's arm to my teacher's arm, I'm safe, right? And now I can get put down and go play,
right? And it's so simple, but it works. If you do it enough, they understand what to expect. They understand that I'm safe, I'm okay, and I can do this. I can move on to the next thing because they know as soon as I put you down, you go play.
Because let one day Alicia don't grab that child.
Right.
Her whole day.
I done messed up the whole day.
Wait a minute. You didn't put me down. What's going on?
Right.
You don't like me no more?
Right. What's going on? Until that child is secure enough to be like, oh, when that child will walk in the door by himself and just be like, here I am. And mom didn't even have to pick you up. And mom didn't even, we didn't even think of it. And then all of a sudden one day the child's doing things on their own, doing what they need to do, taking care of things and, building their own independence. So sometimes it just establishes that level of security. These routines and schedules just establish that level of security, helps you build those bonds. Another thing I wanted to mention was cues in your routine. So like for me, the kids come in there with one teacher when they first come in. It's like in the morning, everybody's together. I'm usually in my office. And so then at the same time every day, usually around the same time every day, between 8:30 and 9, I come out of the office. No, before I come out of the office, I lied. Before I come to the office, Alexa, play Clean Up Song by Coco Melon. Right?
Clean Up Song. Coco Melon.
Girl, you...
Alexa, turn off. Wait, because that scared the crap out of me.
Girl, you scared me.
God.
Anyway,
she didn't play when I said it.
She didn't. I didn't think she was gonna say nothing because you said it already. I guess.
God, we both jumped like. All right.
So anyway, Clean Up Song by Coco Melon. That's the song they hear. All he has to do is Mr. Adam. He just says that, and the children clean up immediately. That's a cue. That's part of their routine, and they know Clean Up Song by Coco Melon. Clean up these toys. When I hear it, it's a cue for me too. When I hear the song, I'm like, okay, wrap up. You ready for you to come? It's time to come to class. I come out and all I gotta do is say, come to and they at the carpet. I don't even have to finish the song. Because it's like, come to the carpet and sit right down, sit right down. That's the song that we sing for them to come to the carpet. But all I have to do is say the first 3 words. I don't even have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
They're already on the carpet, sitting down and ready for circle time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just a cue that we give. Cues really, really help. Timers. Yeah, I got timers from her. We have an hour. We have an hour alarm every hour for potty time, and they know it. That's just another cue that they have that helps them establish. Okay, it's time for me to do this. Same thing with yeah, but anyway, just those are just different types of cues that you can use in your routine at home, at school, wherever you are, in the car, doing whatever. They know this is, oh, when I hear this or when I see this cue, it's time for this. And it also helps a lot with special needs, children who have special needs, children who have behavioral disorders or I don't want to call it disorder, but you know, abilities. Yeah. So different abilities, whatever. They also help with them as well, because if your child sees this cue, they know they can transition to the next thing.
And it's less of a fuss or a fight. And I want to say, not only is that routine for your kids, it's a routine for you.
Yeah.
Because you know, when I hear this, I'm coming out.
Exactly.
Because if Alicia decides not to hear this or doesn't play, she messes up the whole, and everybody's day is going to be like, oh my God, what happened?
Where is she at?
She established her own routine by making them a routine.
Right, exactly. I hear motorcycles. But so, and that's another thing that we have is around during circle time, I have a staff member comes in usually the same time every day, because that's her time to come in to work. And she comes in during circle time. So they know they have to finish the song before they say, hi, Cheryl. You know, like they know she coming, that she's here, and they finish their song and they, hi, Cheryl. And then we move on to the next thing. So, like, you know, it really, really, really will set you up for success by using routines, using schedules. And it's just a tool in your arsenal to make your life better.
And it doesn't have to be overly extra.
Right.
It could be simple, as in, like I say, you know, 3 things. Bedtime is, you know, this, and that. Of course, daycares is a little more, we have to be a little more extra on ours, because with certain inspections or whatever, you know, they expect certain things. But at home, it could be so simple. And it doesn't mean like your whole day has to be a scheduled routine.
Right.
Just certain things to make things easier for you. So bedtime can always be a challenging thing, but if you set that routine, it's not as challenging, because the kids know what to expect. Parents know what to expect. And this is what we do every day. There's no expectation or no exceptions. Maybe, you know, occasionally if something happens, or, you know, during lunch or whatever you need your routine set that's where you should do it. And repetition is always important. And like you said, use the charge, use the, you know, charge, use whatever, Alexa, use that, because when I tell you, I don't know if y'all know, y'all can do so much with that little device. Like we have, mine will say, it's lunchtime. It's time to get up.
How to do that.
Girl, I'll show you. Mine's and then I had somebody have to come in for me for a few hours, and me not even thinking, my Alexa would help her. So she knew when it was like, it's lunchtime. She was like, oh, okay, it's lunchtime.
Right.
It's time to get up. It's nap time. Like she went off the machine because it told them.
Right.
And that's just a way to stay on routine. Even for me, like if we get caught up in something, my Alexa will help me, you know, stay on that routine. So even at home, you can use it to help you, even your nap time routine or whatever. At one point, my kids every day at 8:30 had to read for 30 minutes. They go to bed at 9. So every day at 8:30, I had it tell us like it's reading time, and we all knew, even I did, how to close, you know, shut electronics off and we read, and then that just led into us, winding down, going to sleep.
Yeah.
Also be flexible. Not everything's gonna fall into it.
Yeah.
And even with routines make you more flexible than schedules, because a routine is just the activities done in the order. It doesn't have to be a certain time. So even if if bedtime is 7:30 and we're running a little behind and it's now 8:30, as long as you do that routine in the order, you will still get the results. Because just because your time got pushed back doesn't mean your routine is off. Now the schedule is off, but not the routine.
Right.
Like I said, encourage independence, because pretty soon you're going to realize the kids are doing it without you having to say it, because they're so used to it. They just know.
You'll catch them doing stuff before the timer goes off, or before the alarm goes off.
Because they just know. And then
that flexibility is really important, though. And that adaptability, it is.
It is.
It really is, because sometimes you gotta just be ready for whatever, and you can adjust. Monique,
I do. I do be adjusting. We played the game today, so I had to change the game. I took pictures. I like I said, I take pictures for the parents. I just took them rolling the balls, and I was like, my caption was, we were supposed to be doing this, but they did this, and then when I changed up how I was supposed to do it, we got it right. But they learned their colors. So that's what's important.
Yeah. I agree. That's cool.
You got anything else?
No, girl.
So we're gonna wrap it by giving all three perspectives.
Yes.
So perspective of a parent, it helps you as a parent not become frustrated. It brings order and structure to your house, and it also helps you to, not only your child, it helps you know your routine. You can set your own routine for yourself as you're setting it with the child. And also get the family involved. Don't just have it just you and the child. If you have brothers, sisters, whoever's in the house, it could be a whole family thing to where everybody follows this routine and it becomes a fun family activity. And so that brings less stress because everybody's on one accord. On a providers, it helps with your classroom management.
Yes.
It helps with time management, your organization.
Yes.
When your kids are on a schedule and a routine, your class runs so smooth.
It reduces behavior issues.
Yes, and it reduces even when distractions come. People can come through the door, and your kids will know, no, I cannot go say hi. I have to do this. And then you can say, now you guys can go say hi, like Miss Alicia is saying with her staff coming in. They know this is what I have to do first. This is what's expected of me, and then I can do this. So even with that, and then with kids, it just builds their self-esteem, it encourages independency, it helps them build security. They know I'm safe in this place because every day we do this. I'm not in an unknown space. Like I don't know what's going to happen next. Is somebody just going to pop through the door? Am I going to eat? Am I not going to eat? Am I going to sleep? Like I don't know. Everything is different. So just that, it helps them build that bond and that security, knowing that I know what's going to come.
Right.
I have control over this environment because I feel like I know what I'm going to be doing next. So
I second all of that.
So thank you. +1.
But yeah, so that's pretty much schedules and routines. If you got any questions, comments, or reasons why, you can definitely send us an email at a.wholeway, WHOLEWAYA, the letter A, wholeway, @gmail.com. And you can contact me at Instagram, WholeCDC, @WholeCDC. And on Facebook, Whole Child Development Center. And Monique,
you can contact me at A Step Ahead on Facebook and A Step Ahead on Instagram. Other than that, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And do your peace.
Bye.